This is an ongoing process video of this 58 Eldorado Brougham and engine detail work. So this is kind of where we're at now. Just have not got all the parts in, and are still waiting on the correct paint color to touch up the firewall before we start putting things back together. We've already started some things. So that's the engine now. It's all been comprehensively painted, detailed up as good as possible without pulling the motor out of the car. Like I said, anybody that was going to do this the right way can, reinvent the wheel, but this motor's never been out of this car. And so this is an original engine that still has non-hardened valve seats in it, and has to run on leaded fuel the whole bit. So it's that way. But we've got it apart. This was just a start of a water pump job, is all it was. And 3 weeks later, probably some 70 hours into this thing, we're still going at it. A lot of little detail work, but that's it. And trying to pick and choose your battles without taking what is a good running car and getting so intrusive to it, you damage more things. So something this old. So we've got all the 2GCs off of it, and they ran fine. We've rebuilt these before, but cleaned them up some. And of course the alternator, that's, I think you've seen that, and the power steering, which has a whole video on its own, and the air compressor pump, which should have an whole video on its own, but ours is still working, and working good. So we're not, knock on wood. And this is one of the brackets, which I think is just a really bad design for a Cadillac. This is the back of the air conditioning compressor. If you look, most of these cars that have AC on them, that have been through this shop, that shop, or Joe Blow detail resale, this will not be on the car. And in order to get it on there, you have to take a head bolt out. It's bolted into the head, not a stud head bolt. It's underneath the head bolt, so you got to pull a head bolt out. And then it wraps around the valve cover, in which there's no way to get the valve cover off without taking that out. And then it mounts to the center manifold bolt there. So trying to come up with a better idea where they slot these things or something to where it's more serviceable. But like I said, I don't know if this is specific to the Eldorado Brougham. It might be, but my God, that is not easy to deal with. And like I said, I'd much rather work on a V12 Mercedes than one of these. This is a very difficult car. Lots of stuff on it. And, anyway, we went all the way and pulled the distributor out, carbs off, so the back of the motor's painted, the road tube's painted like it's supposed to be. The heater hoses are taped off still. This is the next project in line, is detailing this up some here. So I had some paint that we got at the auto parts store. It didn't match, so I had to get some made. It's more of an antique type white. And so we're gonna take some of that apart and make it look like this here. So, but one thing at a time, and so it should go back together okay. It's coming. Everything that we've done goes back together okay, and should be a better car for all of the work. My spark plugs are still blue because we use those to keep the holes plugged, and we'll put some new ones in it when take them out. There's about almost to that point. Get everything off. We're going to leave all this on there just in case we need to do a couple other things when that goes, because I don't really like the idea of taking this out, but I'm going to have to. That's not a big deal there, and the resistors over there for the air conditioning. So fan speed stuff, but that's it. So trying to get it all together. Hope to have it done by end of the month. This is in the shop while we're doing other things, so it's our own in-house project. Couldn't charge anybody enough money to do this, I can tell you that much. If anybody charges you 10 grand to do a motor detail like this, then they're probably not overcharging you. And if they're charging you less, then they must be related. So it's a lot of work to do this right. And so you pull the motor out, which is really probably the easier thing to do in the long run. But when you're dealing with something this old, comprehensive wins the battle. Can of worms is not where you want to be. At least that's in my experience, because you can't reinvent every wheel. And they're only original once, as far as a lot of the bolt up integrity and things like that. But I said, the motor, if the motor was not running decent and had a problem, definitely would have pulled it out. But it runs good, so that's where we're at. And this car is just, it's a beautiful car to look at. I love, and we get in my shop here, in my building, we have big Christmas parties for car clubs and things like that. And one of the clubs that I'm involved with is a Chevrolet club, and these guys know a lot. They come from histories of 60s racing, some record holders that belong in our club and things like that. 409 guys, all the way back to the days. Some names that people know. Most people have never seen one of these, even those guys. So it's fun to talk about this, and we had this here, for the Christmas party, kind of where it's at right now, but not all this junk laying on it. But so I've seen a car like that before. And then you start saying, have you seen one that has the stainless steel roof? No, I don't think I have. Have you seen one that has the suicide door? Oh, no, I don't think I have. So everybody, even car guys will mistake these things as like a Fleetwood or something like that. So that's kind of it. So it's fun car to look at, Eldorado Brougham. Thanks for watching.